Joy is. It is the nature of reality. If I am feeling joy, that means I am in contact with reality. I am in contact with what is absolutely real. If I am feeling peace, I am in contact with reality. I am in contact with what is absolutely real. If I am feeling hope, faith, trust, confidence, that sense of inner security and gladness, that is the absolutely real. That is an indicator I am in contact with reality. And so the converse is true as well. From a human perspective, I have the opportunity to choose despair instead. I have the opportunity to choose agitation instead. I have the opportunity to choose sorrow instead. And so just to notice within myself, have I been choosing hope, peace, and joy? And have I been willing to let go of identifying with anything other than hope, peace, and joy? If so, what will happen will be that energy of the absolutely real, that energy of pure light, that energy of pure love, will share through me right where I am in the midst of my daily life. Good morning, welcome, 1,000 welcomes to you all. And we're meditating today on the light of joy. And I just want to share something completely charming and adorable that I heard recently about Swami Nityananda. So that last prayer that we just offered, the last line of it is, I am the absolute self. And so this person said that close to their beginning of meeting Swami Nityananda, they were at a meditation. Swami Nityananda said, I am the absolute self. I am. Yes, indeedy do. And it was just so charming and adorable that I couldn't help but share it with you. So just to have that absolute playfulness and joy of realizing that all of this, like all of this life, I am all of this. And so that helps us be continually in contact with that light of joy. So I'm about to light the Advent candles, and I'm inviting us first to breathe the beginningless, endless life that is made visible in the form of the evergreen wreath. Breathe that beginningless, endless life into every cell of the body. Allow yourself to feel the beginningless, endless love that each of us is, and that love is nourishing every cell of the body. And then we also are inviting ourselves to breathe the light of hope into our heart and our awareness, the light of peace into our heart and our awareness, and the light of joy into our heart and our awareness. And so for each of us, we're inviting these lights to directly nurture and nourish and strengthen us. And it came to me that these lights make visible some of the unfoldment of self-realization. So the light of hope is that awareness. I can fully realize I am the absolute self. And then once we have that aspiration kindled within ourselves, that trust, that hope, that faith, that confidence, that knowingness, this is possible. This is possible to realize divine presence within myself continually. Peace naturally unfolds. And so then, when we have that serenity, that stillness, that calm, that tranquility within ourselves, joy also unfolds. And so there's a very, very natural progression when we are dedicated to honoring the divinity within ourselves, which is in everyone. So honoring the divinity within ourselves, honoring the divinity equally within all beings, and then we will be living continually in hope, continually in peace, continually in joy. So a couple of key realizations.
Hi, I'm Porna, and I'm a Karma Yogi at Awake Yoga Meditation. We love to share the teachings of yoga philosophy. I mean, it's love, it's inspiration, it's peace, and this piece is for everybody. So if you like what you see, like, share, and subscribe. Spread that joy, y'all.
Joy is. It is the nature of reality. If I am feeling joy, that means I am in contact with reality. I am in contact with what is absolutely real. If I am feeling peace, I am in contact with reality. I am in contact with what is absolutely real. If I am feeling hope, faith, trust, confidence, that sense of inner security and gladness, that is the absolutely real. That is an indicator I am in contact with reality. And so the converse is true as well. From a human perspective, I have the opportunity to choose despair instead. I have the opportunity to choose agitation instead. I have the opportunity to choose sorrow instead. And so just to notice within myself, have I been choosing hope, peace, and joy? And have I been willing to let go of identifying with anything other than hope, peace, and joy? If so, what will happen will be that energy of the absolutely real, that energy of pure light, that energy of pure love, will share through me right where I am in the midst of my daily life. So it will help us be better humans, better in our relationships, better in our caring and self-love, better in our talent sharing. So whatever our talents and skills are, that light will share through us in the way that that light is only able to share through us. And so for each of us, we're invited to make an incredibly beautiful commitment to energize only the light of hope, to energize only the light of peace, to energize only the light of joy, and then to allow that vast energy of hope, peace, and joy to share through us in the way that it will spontaneously share through us right where we are in our daily lives. And so I'll share a couple of scriptures, and I will share a couple of invitations to contact directly that light of joy. And then fairly soon, we're going to be inviting ourselves to sing, which is another beautiful expression of the light of joy. So the Bhagavad Gita tells us that it is possible to reveal divine glory in songs, meditation, and service. And so I'll just say that again. Reveal divine glory in songs, meditation, and service. And if we reveal divine glory in songs, meditation, and service, we live in contentment and joy. And so we're giving ourselves very directly that invitation to connect with the joy of the divine, the glory of the divine in the form of song, and to fill our bodies, our hearts, our minds, our energy field with that glory of song, with that joy of song. We're also reminded, and this is a teaching from Luke chapter 2, we're inviting ourselves to tune into the universal aspects of this teaching. It's an announcement that joy is arriving. Joy is arriving to the world. And so each of us is this energy of supreme bliss, and we're inviting this joy to arrive through us to the world as an individualized, beloved expression of that absolute bliss. Now there were shepherds in that region where they were staying, and they were watching their flocks at night. And behold, the angel of God came to them, and the glory of the Lord shone on them, and they were seized with a great fear. And the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid, for behold, I bring you glad tidings of great joy, which will be to all the world. For this day is born to you in the city of David a Savior, who is Christ the Lord. And this is a sign for you. You will find the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes and lying in a manger." And suddenly there appeared with the angel a heavenly host, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace and good hope for all." And so we're inviting ourselves to be filled with the energy of glad tidings of great joy to all the world, to connect with the source of bliss, that source of that universal bliss that projects into time and space and takes form as each of us. And if you were here at the top, you heard me share this teaching, but I'll repeat it for those who joined midstream. Swami Nityananda says there's one bliss. Bliss is the one without a second, and it projects into time and space as individualized joy. So you are actually joy, here in the form of you. And what we're inviting ourselves to do is to turn to the light of joy within ourselves, to let go of anything other than that, and allow that joy to share through us. So I'll share with you one quick story, and then I'm going to invite us to start singing. So this is a story. I came across a video maybe 2 days ago. I think the video was actually posted a couple of years ago. And it was a story about a baby rescue camel named Sir Camelot. And so Sir Camelot was this rescue camel, and he was on this farm, and no one wanted to be his friend because he looked different from everyone else. He was the only camel on this rescue farm. And so you see him like out in the pasture by himself, and he's actually bellowing with distress. He sort of makes this like camel distress noise. And the person who's in charge of introducing Sir Camelot to the rest of the animals tries to help introduce Sir Camelot to other animals and see if Sir Camelot can make friends. And none of the other animals make friends with Sir Camelot. And so Sir Camelot is feeling kind of dejected, and you can see him kind of like drooping and wilting. And then she finds a baby cow who's only 2 weeks younger than Sir Camelot. The baby cow she names Benjamin Button. And so Benjamin, she introduces to Sir Camelot, and they bond. And so then the next thing you see is this camel and this cow just like romping and playing, and they look hilarious, as you can imagine. Like a cow and a camel just like doing face-offs and dancing and skittering and playing and taunting and teasing and acting like siblings. They're just completely adorable. And so this is that invitation for each of us to remember the importance of reaching out beyond outer appearances, the importance of that desire for connectedness that is there in everyone, no matter what the outer appearance is. The underlying unity and harmony, the underlying caring, the kindness, the connection is the real. And humans clearly struggle at expressing this continually in time and space. So for each of us, right where we are in our daily lives, we are invited to be connection. We are invited to be kindness. We are invited to be just recognition. We are invited to be awareness. And a very clear, direct shortcut to this is just turning within and saying, am I honoring the divinity in me? Am I honoring the divinity in all? And that will let you know. When you are honoring the divinity within you, which is the same divinity, which is in all, you will always know, is silence and a smile most helpful right now? Is a helping hand most helpful right now? Is actually standing back and allowing this child or this camel or this cow or this student or this human space to explore and to create? Is that most helpful now? Are cheerful, kind words most helpful now? And so for each of us, just continually to be that connection and that awareness. And that helps joy be visible continually for ourselves and for others. So before we close, I'll just share with you a funny story that I came across. And this is about the way in which when we are in contact with that energy of absolute joy, we recognize you are all myself. So to put it that way, like you look out and you see like the earth, that is myself. You see the trees, that is myself. You see the sun, that is myself. Today, when I walked outside, the air was so super saturated with moisture that it was fog, but it was precipitating. And I've never noticed the air so super saturated with moisture that you could actually hear the fog dripping. And so it was amazing. And so that's myself. Like that's the light of joy in the form of super saturated air that is so excited it drips into moisture in time and space. And so there's this interesting story that I came across of a yogi who had been meditating in India in a meditation cave. And so in India, it's a long, millennia old practice to go into a cave and meditate. So this yogi had been meditating in the cave, and in the cave, the yogi had realized, I am absolute joy. And so the yogi came out of the cave, and there was a man standing at the entryway to the cave, and the yogi just embraced him, gave him like this bear hug, because he was like, I am absolute joy, and you are absolute joy too. And the man was not remembering that he was absolute joy. And he was like, oh my God, this madman came out of a cave and hugged me. And he went screaming and ran away. And so it's just to remember to be very kind and aware and compassionate that when we have that recognition of that absolute joy, inwardly, we're hugging everyone. Inwardly, we're reaching out a bear hug to everybody on the planet, like even the cranky person on the bus or wherever we are, where we're seeing the cranky person, we're like, that's myself too. That's myself in absolute joy too. And that person might not yet be in that remembrance of joy. And so just to remember whatever you are seeing, to keep holding that frequency, that remembrance of joy, and then perhaps consider when people come through the greeting line, I ask, would you like a hug? So that's a way to sort of remember, I am absolute joy, you are absolute joy, and would your human self like a hug? Or would your human self not like a hug? And both are absolute joy. You want a hug, you don't want a hug. That's myself in the form of absolute joy that wants a hug. That's myself in the form of absolute joy that runs screaming away from me as I come out of my meditation cave. And so just to give yourself that gift of remembering that each of us is limitless, unprecedented joy continually. And to allow yourselves to remember, when you truly remember this, look back at your life. Your dad was absolute joy in the form of your dad. However wonderful or not wonderful your dad was absolute joy in the form of your dad. Your mom was absolute joy in the form of your mom. Absolute joy took birth as you. Whatever you have experienced or not experienced, that is absolute joy moving as you through time and space. And so when you can look at your life in this way, you recognize joy is. It is the nature of the real. The real is always there at the core of your dad and your ancestors, your mom and your ancestors, whether you knew your dad and mom or not, whether you grew up in an adoptive family or not, whether you have felt deeply, beautifully connected to other humans in time and space or not, all of it is absolute joy, being here in, through, and as all of this. And so when we truly feel that, we are able to love all of it. We are able to love absolute joy in the form of our dad, however easy or hard our dad was to live with. We are able to love absolute joy in the form of our mom, however easy or hard our mom was to live with. We are able to love absolute joy in the form of ourselves, our kids, our parents, our partner, our friend, everyone that we encounter. We are able to truly see and feel continually, that is the divine in the form of whatever I am encountering. And when I remember that is the divine in the form of what I am encountering, there is no fear. There is no separateness. And I remember the real. In the real, abundance is. In the real, connectedness is. In the real, happiness is. In the real, strength is. In the real, peace is. In the real, stability is. In the real, opulence and wealth and love and adoring and kindness and peace and creativity and gladness and wholeness and health, they are. And so for each of us, the moment I let go of separateness, there is only absolute love. That's it. And so the moment I let go of separateness, absolute love will share through me in a way that is limitless and in a way that is completely unprecedented. So none of us can predict what absolute love will create next through the lives of each of us. And so when we live in that way, there is just this open-hearted allowing of all the love in the universe to pour forth in time and space, in, through, and as all of this. And what happens then is what is announced in these teachings. There is joy to all the world, because we remember that that which upholds and supports all the world is joy. And we walk in that energy of joy inwardly. And as we walk in that energy of joy, it becomes visible outwardly. It becomes impossible to create a fear-based world when we walk in that energy of joy. And so instead, what we create is a connection and caring and kindness and wisdom and trust and gladness and generosity and respect-based world. And so each of us is here to be part of that, and it begins by going within, loving the divine that is here in you, which gives you the ability to cultivate that laser vision and love past all seeming human obstacles and confusion and illusion, to see that same love at the heart of all that is. The world transforms because we transform. Thank God, and God bless us all.